Whether or not you have been to an audition, we all know it can be a roller coaster ride of emotions. Sometimes things can feel off, but turn out to have gone really well. These big Hollywood names are no exception to the audition experience, and these actors did not think these roles were in their future. Number 1. Dominic West almost uncast himself. After Dominic was chosen to play Prince Charles in The Crown following Josh O'Connor's portrayal of the royal, naysayers had a field day. This caused Dominic to question how convincingly he could pull off the part. It's quite disconcerting, as I didn't look anything like him when I looked in the mirror. Dominic said to the publication, "I kept telling the producers that they had cast the wrong person." These producers then explained that this was not a show of imitation. Dominic explained, and he continued with the role. Number 2. Emma Darcy didn't even know that she was auditioning for Game of Thrones. Darcy said, "Initially, we were given made-up sides for an unnamed project for an unnamed network, and I'm very naive, so I was like, oh, I don't know what it is. I hear that other people knew. I don't know how. I didn't receive that information." Number 3. This story sounds like a dream come true. Young actor Auli'i Cravalho won the part of the adventurous teenager in Disney's Moana, even though she was not even auditioning for it at the time. Cravalho had sent in a tape to a charity singing competition in her home of Hawaii, but didn't place. She must have been pleasantly surprised when she learned that her tape fell into the hands of a Disney casting director, which led to her getting the title role. Number 4. Sibling rivalry. Chris felt good about his Thor audition, but realized he was likely deemed unsuited for the part when he didn't hear back for months. At the same time, his brother Liam sent in an audition tape and got 2 callbacks for the role, which made him further wonder why he didn't get a second audition. Chris's manager called the casting department and they agreed to meet with him again. This time, with his mom's help, Chris was offered the job. Chris said, "I did an audition in Vancouver in this hotel room with my mom reading Anthony Hopkins' part. She must have nailed it because it got me back in the room. And that second audition was a lot different than my first one. I came in kind of with a little, I guess, motivation and maybe frustration that my little brother had gotten further than me." Number 5. Would Game of Thrones still be the same if Kit Harington hadn't landed the role of Jon Snow? The night before his audition time, Harington got into a fight at a McDonald's, winning himself a black eye. We can only imagine how he must have felt about the bad timing.
They were auditioning every young Brit in the UK. For whatever reason, the producers had 3 auditions and they sort of spotted me on the second one.
Thankfully, the casting directors felt his black eye, and the fact he was defending his girlfriend gave him some merit, and much to his surprise, Harington landed the role.
He said, "This guy looks upset enough to play Jon Snow."
Number 6. Actor Tom Felton originally auditioned for both the roles of Harry Potter and Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter series. We can only imagine how he must have felt being moved from role to role like that. As we know, those roles went to Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint, and Tom probably wondered if he was going to make it into the film at all. Instead, Tom was offered the part of Draco Malfoy. Felton has said that he's grateful he was cast as Draco because he doesn't think anyone else could have done the job Radcliffe and Grint did. Number 7. Can you imagine this Mean Girls change-up?
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
At first, the producers wanted Lohan to play Regina George. She was probably frustrated to hear the role eventually went to Rachel McAdams, but her spirits were probably lifted to hear that she was offered the part of Katie Heron. The story goes that after Freaky Friday came out, Lohan's popularity skyrocketed. They were worried the audience wouldn't like her as the villain. Number 8. Producers of Mean Girls intended for Rachel McAdams to play the role of Katie Heron. Katie was eventually played by Lindsay Lohan, which probably led to some frustration on Rachel's part. This juggling of casting intentions ended well for everyone though, as Rachel was asked to play Regina George. Director Mark Water said he thought McAdams was too old for the part of Katie, but found her age helped her play the intimidating Regina George opposite the younger Lindsay Lohan. Number 9. Amanda Seyfried originally auditioned for the role of Regina George in Mean Girls. Seyfried not only auditioned for the role of Regina, but she almost had it. Director Mark Waters said that she was brilliant as Regina, adding she played it in a much more ethereal but still kind of scary way. She was more frightening, but oddly less intimidating. We wonder how Amanda felt about the part being offered to Rachel McAdams. Whatever she was feeling, she was probably very happy to hear that she was offered the part of Karen Smith. Number 10. Kirsten Dunst thought she was going to play Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man. Kirsten Dunst revealed that when she met Sam Raimi and was flipping through the comics, she thought she would play Gwen Stacy due to their physical similarities. Kirsten was probably shocked to hear she was offered the role of Mary Jane and admitted she wasn't familiar with Mary Jane and Peter's relationship. Once she got the role, Dunst said she did lots of research. Number 11. Bespoke roles only, please and thanks. Chris Colfer originally auditioned to play the role of Artie Abrams in Glee, but was probably disappointed to hear he didn't get the role, and that it had been offered to Kevin McHale. It wasn't over for Chris, though. Creator Ryan Murphy liked Colfer so much that Ryan actually invented the character of Kurt Hummel specifically for him. Number 12. Anne was not the first choice for her role in Devil Wears Prada. Much to her frustration, Anne was actually the 9th actor chosen to play Andrea Sachs in The Devil Wears Prada. Director David Frankel said that Rachel McAdams was offered the part 3 times but continuously declined. David also stated it didn't go well with the studio when they began to approach Anne about the part. In spite of this, Anne was determined to get the part. Meryl Streep then watched a scene of Anne's from Brokeback Mountain and met with the actor. After this, Meryl said Anne was great and believed they would work well together, which helped seal the deal for Anne to secure the job. Anne called it the easiest yes in the world when she was finally given the opportunity to play Andrea. I patiently waited until it was my turn, and I got the call. Anne said, I remember the moment I found out I got the part, and I just ran screaming through my apartment. I had a bunch of friends over at the time. I just jumped up in the living room and screamed, I'm going to be in The Devil Wears Prada! Number 13. Zac Efron was a convincing Link Larkin in the 2007 Hairspray remake, but the director of the film, Adam Shankman, first said no when Zac tried out for the role. He came into audition sweet and goofy, like he is in High School Musical. Nothing like sexy Link Larkin. Zac must have thought he was definitely not getting this role. It was Adam's sister and business partner, Jennifer Gibgot, who helped him recognize Zac's star power. After speaking with Jennifer, Adam decided to cast Zac as Link. He said, I told my sister, who said, you better make him like Link then, because I'm telling you right now, he is going to be the biggest star in the world. And then I got it. Number 14. When Kate first auditioned for Rose in Titanic, director James Cameron was initially uncertain about hiring her for the part. James was looking for an Audrey Hepburn type, and he still wasn't sure Kate was the actor he wanted, even after her test impressed him. Kate felt very passionate about the project and sent James a rose with the written message, from your Rose. She also called the director and said, you don't understand. I am Rose. I don't know why you're even seeing anyone else. Ultimately, Kate's persistence paid off. These actors did not think they were going to get the part, or maybe they did. Sometimes you just need to stick with it. With auditions happening every day, we know we can't have covered everything. So what do you think? What did we miss? What are some of your favorite audition stories? Let us know in the comments below.